Okay. Welcome back, students. In the previous class, we had discussed about the different methods, right? What was that? We had discussed how do we separate the methods that was using the membrane, right? We had used about the dialysis, and then we spoke about the electrodialysis, and also then we also spoke about ultrafiltration method. Alva, ಯಾವ ತರ ನಾವು electrolytes ಅನ್ನ reduce ಮಾಡಬಹುದು and soluble particles ಅನ್ನ reduce ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. And how do we also remove the colloidal particles? That is what we had discussed in the previous class. Today we are going to discuss about the few of the properties of my colloidal solutions. Okay, na ಕೆಲವೊಂದು properties ಇರ್ತವೆ colloids ಗೆ. So we'll be discussing point by point what are the different properties that my colloidal solutions have. Okay, now moving on, the first property which is seen on your screen now, that is colligative properties. Obviously colligative properties is something which you'll be learning in the chapter solutions chapter in ಕಲಿತೀರಾ. That is usually you know that what do you mean by colligative properties? They're nothing but the ones which are dependent upon the number of particles, right? Colligative properties are something which is dependent on the number of particles, and they are it is irrespective of the nature of particles, right? What are the colligative properties that we know? That is elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, and your osmotic pressure and relative lowering of vapor pressure, right? These are the four of the properties which are very this is actually nicely shown by the colloidal solutions. Okay, now suppose if we just consider the colloidal particles, right? If we imagine the colloidal solution, here what happens is the size of solutions. Okay, the size of that colloidal particle, size of the colloidal particles is basically now observe ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is larger in size. Okay, the colloidal particle size is considered to be large. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, if the colloidal particle size large ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ obviously the number of particles what is present in that solution, right? Size ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಂಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the number of particles which is present will be less. ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ number of particles less ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, colligative properties is something which is dependent on the number of particles. So if number of particles is less, then what happens to my colligative properties? My colligative properties will also decrease. Okay, colligative property ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, value of the colligative property will also be less. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, colloidal particles being aggregates, right? The number of particles is comparatively small as compared to a true solution. When we compare to a true solution, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, due to that the values of the colligative properties will be of small order as compared to the values compared to the true solutions ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, this is all about my colligative properties. Okay, now moving to the next property which is usually shown by my colloidal solution. What is the next property which we are going to talk about? The solution is, the name is known as Tyndall effect. Okay, now what do I mean by Tyndall effect? I think I'll just explain it using some explanation. Okay, now suppose let us just imagine ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು diagram ಅನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, see if you just write ಈ ತರ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay, there is one container which is being taken up. Maybe ನಾನೀಗ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, colloidal solution ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, maybe I might take a colloidal solution which is milk. Okay, ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈಗ ಈ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, I will just explain using this only. This diagram is better I think. ಇದೊಂದು colloidal sol ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Okay, maybe ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, I am going to take it in a container which is transparent. ಈ ತರದ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, I will be passing a beam of light. Okay, ಒಂದು beam of light ಅನ್ನ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Now the moment you pass the beam of light through it, okay, ಈ beam of light ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನೀವ್ ಏನನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, what I am going to do is ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, I am going to stand perpendicular to this and absorb the light. Okay, I'm just going to observe what is happening perpendicularly. Okay, 90 degree ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, and then I'll stand in the direction of the light and I'll observe what is exactly happening. Okay, ಈ ತರ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Now the moment the light is passed and you observe, what you see is, if you observe the light at this angle, ಈ angle ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವ್ ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಮೈ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಪಾತ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೀಮ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಲೈಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಆ ಪಾತ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಬೀಮ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಲ್ಯುಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆನಾ, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಶೋನ್. ಓಕೆನಾ, ದ ಪಾತ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೀಮ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಬೀಮ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಲ್ಯುಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್. ಅದೇ ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್, ಓಕೆನಾ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಇಸ್ the solution solution, it appears to be clear or transparent. ಯಾವ ತರ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ? My solution appears to be clear or transparent in nature. Okay na? When okay na? So ನೀವು ಏನಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ when light is absorbed in different direction, once here and once there, the observation is different. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ತರದ ಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಪಾತ್ ಇಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಳಗೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಇನ ಪಾತ್ ಇಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. when you stand here ಏನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as ಟಿಂಡಾಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೋನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಸಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೋನ್ ತರದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೋನ್ ತರ ಬರ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as ಟಿಂಡಾಲ್ ಕೋನ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಟಿಂಡಾಲ್ ಕೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ what is happening when you take a mini colloidal solution and just path, you allow the torch to fall on it, light to fall on it, and you observe the what is happening to it when in different directions. You observe that when it is seen in perpendicular direction, that the solution appears to be dark and path of beam is illuminated, whereas when you see the in the path of the light direction ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, the solution appears to be transparent, right? So basically Tyndall effect ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is nothing but the scattering of light. Okay na? It is the scattering of light by the colloidal particles in a colloid. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Tyndall effect ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay na? The scattering of the light by the colloidal particles in a colloidal solution. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? We call it as Tyndall effect. And the bright cone, okay na? ಅದೇನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? We call it as Tyndall cone ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay na? For example, if I have to give you a very common example, what we observe in theaters, right? Usually ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ whenever we talk about theaters, what we see in theaters is the full hall will be dark. ಹೌದಾ? ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೂವಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆ ಮೂವಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇಂದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಿ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ರೂಮ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ ದ ಬೀಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟ್. ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಆ ಲೈಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ದ path of light will become visible in the this one, right? Theaters. ಅದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ರೂಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ರೂಮ್, ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸಣ್ಣ ತೂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಲೈಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಮಿಂಗ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾವ ತರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದ್ ಸಣ್ಣ ತೂತ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಕೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಈಗ ಈ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಮನೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅದು, ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಗಾಜಿಂದು ಪೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಗಾಜಿನ ಪೀಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಲೈಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ತರ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ, ಯೂಶಲಿ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಧೂಳಿನ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್? And we see this, right? Light will be coming in form of cone and we see the movement of particles. Why? Because the particles are moving, right? And the scattering of the beam of light is taking place. The path of light is becoming visible to us. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? We call it as a Tyndall effect ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay na? Now, if this has to happen, if this scattering of the light has to happen through these colloidal particles, what are the conditions for that? Okay, na? Basic conditions ಏನು ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. The first condition for the Tyndall effect is told as see, if, for anything to show Tyndall effect, okay na? ಏನ್ the diameter ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, the diameter of the particle, usually ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, colloidal range ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಇಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 1 to 1000 nanometer. ಹೌದಾ? It should be approximately, the diameter ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ of the dispersed particle, it should be approximately same as that of the wavelength of light. Okay na? Wavelength of light. Which wavelength of light? The light which is being, the light which is being scattered, scattered by the colloidal particle. Okay na? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ similar ಅಂದ್ರೆ dispersed ಏನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, the diameter has to be approximately similar to the wavelength of the light which is being scattered by the colloidal particle. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಲೈಟ್ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಲೈಟ್ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, ಇದು ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ವೇವ್ಲೆಂತ್ ಈಗ ಇದ್ರ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ದ ವೇವ್ಲೆಂತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? Okay, now there's a particle, okay na, with a particular diameter and the light is falling on it and the particle has to scatter the beam of light. Okay na? The light in a wavelength idea and particle, they have to be in same range. Okay na? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವೆರಡು ಅದೇ ರೇಂಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the beam of light is scattered. Okay na? Suppose ಈಗ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈಜ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಣ್ಣದಾಯ್ತು and the wavelength ಇನ ಏನು ರೇಂಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಮೋರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, there is no what is called, there will be no scattering at all. ಹೌದಾ? That is the the reason? Usually what you see that colloidal solutions scatter the beam of light. Okay na, colloidal solutions ಯಾಕೆ beam of light ಅನ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ reason is ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಇನ ಏನ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, they will usually scatter the beam of light, whereas our true solution will not scatter. Okay na, ಯಾಕೆ? Usually their particle size is very small. True solution ಅಲ್ಲಿ diameter ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ the particle size will be very small, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ they will not scatter the light. Okay na, so that is one thing. Okay na, in use this Tyndall effect ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is usually used to distinguish between my colloidal solution okay na and the true solution, andre whether a substance is colloid or not. If I have to differentiate what I do, I will use this system. Okay na, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು point ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ refractive index, that is what something which you learn in your physics, right? The refractive index what you see of the disperse phase and the dispersive medium, you know, right? They will be differing in great magnitude. Okay na, ಏನ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಿರಲ್ವಾ, it will be greatly differed. Suppose ಅವು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ Tyndall effect it will take place. If not, it will not be taking place. This is one of the conditions, okay na, for Tyndall effect. First one, the diameter of the dispersed particles should be similar to that of wavelength, and one more, refractive index of the dispersed phase and medium should be differing. Only then what will happen, the Tyndall effect will be taking place. Okay, these are the two properties of the colloidal solution. And the first property what we discussed was related to your colligative, and the second one is known as the Tyndall effect. Now moving to the third property, basically when we are talking about the third property, that is color, right? Now let us just assume, okay, that we have taken golds, gold into ಒಂದು colloidal solution ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Okay na, gold salts, we have taken gold's colloidal solution. See, now this colloidal solution, gold into, it can be any color. Okay na, it can be pink in color, it can be violet in color, any color, golden color. Okay na, colloidal solution na ಏನ್ color ಇದೆಲ್ಲ it will change. Now why any particular thing will show color? What is the reason that a particular thing shows color? Okay na, now the color of this particular substance, it's actually because of the light which is being scattered. Okay na, color elinda bartide, it is due to the light which is being scattered. Hauda, so the color of the colloidal solution ಏನು ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, the color of the colloidal solution basically depends on what? It will depend on the wavelength of the light which is being scattered. Okay na, wavelength of this light scattered by whom? Scattered by the dispersed particle. Now who will decide the wavelength, which wavelength should be scattered? Hauda, ಯಾವುದು wavelength scatter ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, which will decide, that will be dependent on what? The size and nature of the particle, which depends on the size of the colloidal particles. Suppose ಈಗ ನಾವು ಎರಡು colloidal solutions ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Maybe one colloidal solution, gold colloidal solution ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದು ಒಂದ್ರದ್ದು ಸೈಜ್ 100 ನ್ಯಾನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೈಜ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 1000 ನ್ಯಾನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಇಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ colloidal particle, ಓಕೆನಾ, ಈಗ 100 ನ್ಯಾನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ if this is the size, it will scatter the wavelength, ಓಕೆನಾ, wavelength of light ಎಷ್ಟು λ1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Then it will show some color, ಓಕೆನಾ, it will show some color 1, ಓಕೆನಾ, color C1 ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ. Suppose if the colloidal size range 1000 nanometer ಇಂದ ಅದು wavelength ಯಾವ ತರ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ, λ2 ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. Maybe the color will also be dependent on the wavelength, ಓಕೆನಾ, so C2 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. So this is what they're saying, depend on the size of it, what will happen, they will be showing a different kinds of what is it, colors ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, the wavelength of light further depends on what? Size and the nature of particles. ಓಕೆನಾ, the color of the colloidal solution also changes with manner in which observer receives the light and the direction of observation. So first ನಾವ್ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, color wavelength will depend ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, that will be interdependent on the size. ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನು, direction of observation. Now when I'm talking about the direction of observation, okay, now when I'm just talking about the direction of observation, andre what do you mean by direction of observation? Andre, now let us just imagine, okay na, we have taken the gold solution, okay na, gold colloidal solution na ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ of range 100 nanometer ಅಂತ. Now we are observing the light right from its direction, just like this. ಇದು gold solution ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, maybe this is the colloidal gold solution, it is not actually that, ಅದು ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ we will be observing the light from its direction. We see that a different different color will be observed. Okay, now we see that a different color will be observed, and perfect ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಲರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ the color of the colloidal solution is decided by the direction from which the light is being observed. Okay na, so basically now color yav ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, it also changes with the manner in which observer receives the light. one direction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ತರ ಕಲರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಿಗುವಂತ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ a mixture of milk and water appears blue when viewed by reflected light and red when viewed by the transmitted light. Okay na, reflected light ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ತರ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, transmitted light ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, will be observing a red ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay na, so this is one example for your color. Okay na, color ಒಂದು property of my colloidal solution. This is what happens. See, this is what happens, different sizes of colloidal gold particles. ನೋಡಿ ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಸೈಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ತರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, every now and then it is changing. ಹೌದಾ, ಸೊ ಸೈಜ್ ಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಕಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಪ್ರೂಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಸ್ that is known as Brownian movement. Okay, now when I'm talking about a Brownian movement, what do you mean by Brownian movement? And basically it refers to the zigzag motion of the colloidal particles. Okay na, zigzag motion anta ile bardidi nodi, that is known as the Brownian movement. Now why it is called as zigzag motion, or why it is called as Brownian movement? Actually this Brownian movement, no, it was discovered by a scientist. Okay na, Robert Brown ಅನ್ನೋರಿಂದ ಇದು ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So this is known as Brownian movement. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರದೇ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು Brownian movement ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Now what is this Brownian movement? On fact, what factors does this Brownian movement depend upon ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Okay na, now when we are talking about the Brownian movement, purely we are talking in terms of the colloidal solution. ಅಂದ್ರೆ colloidal solution ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, there will be one dispersed phase and then dispersed medium. So first what we'll do is we'll just see the size of the dispersed medium and the viscosity of the size of the dispersed phase. Okay na, and then viscosity of the dispersed medium. See, you should know one thing, if the size of the dispersed phase is less, okay na, if the size of the dispersed phase is less, Brownian motion ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, Brownian motion ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay na, size ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದಂಗೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, colloidal particles ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಓದಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓಡೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay na, so as the size of the dispersed phase is less, Brownian motion ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Suppose viscosity is less. Okay na, if the viscosity ಕೂಡ ಹೇಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, it should be less, only then what happens, my Brownian motion will be high. Now if I have to explain viscosity ಅಂತ size ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, size ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದಂಗೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಏನೋ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ Brownian motion ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now based on viscosity, see if I tell you to suppose ಈಗ ನಾವು ಹೊಳೆಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಈಜಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀರಾ. ಹೌದಾ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಈಜಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅದೇ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ತುಪ್ಪ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಜೇನ್ ತುಪ್ಪದ್ದು ಪೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಈಜಾಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? No, it will not be possible for you to swim. Why? Because the viscosity, the thickness is more, right? Viscosity of the honey is more, so you will not be able to swim. So that means ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, lesser the viscosity of that colloidal solution, Brownian motion ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it will go on increasing. Okay na, so condition ಯಾವ ತರ ಇರಬೇಕು, size of the dispersed phase particle should be less and viscosity should also be less. Okay na, so Brownian movement na you see here only have written, the Brownian movement is due to the unbalanced bombardment of colloidal particles by the molecules, okay now, of dispersion medium. Okay, now you know one thing, Brownian movement in use ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, it is actually responsible for the stability of the colloids. Okay na, colloids ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, you know that. See, basically ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, colloids ಅಂದ್ರೆ where colloids ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, the Brownian movement is high, it's highly stable. Okay na, whenever the Brownian movement is high, ನಾವೇನಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, Brownian movement high ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ stability ಕೂಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, see, if my colloidal particular solution ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ particles heavy ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, if the particles are very heavy, ಅವೇನಾಗ್ತವೆ, they'll go and settle down. Okay, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, particles ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆವಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. Now if they settle down under the influence of gravity, what will happen, they'll become very unstable. Settle ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, and they'll start breaking. Okay, now we don't want them to rest there, we don't want them to rest, instead we want them to move everywhere. So ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, Brownian movement ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, due to Brownian movement there will be lot of randomness being caused. Okay na, so randomness ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it will not allow the colloidal particles to settle down. ಆ particles settle ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, stability. Okay na, what is it, the Brownian movement is the one which has stirring effect. ಸ್ಟಿರಿಂಗ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸೆಟಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅಂಡ್ thus is responsible for the stability of the soles. If the soles have to be stable, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, we have to make sure the Brownian movement is there inside that. Okay na, Brownian movement ಇಲ್ಲ ರೋಲ್ ಏನು, it will help in stabilizing that particular sole. Okay na, colloidal solution na stabilize ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾವುದು, are Brownian movement. Now moving to the last point, that is the charge on the colloidal particles. Now based on the charge on the colloidal particles, how does it vary anta gottide. Okay na, now why charge should be there, first question is why the charge should be there, and where does it come from, charge elinda barutte, last point, that is colloidal particles. Nimage gottide, igaste we saw that in the last time that if the colloidal particles are heavy, enagutte, they'll be going to settling down due to the influence of gravity. Hauda, if it settles down enagutte, the colloid will become unstable. Okay na, if it shows Brownian movement only, then it will become stable at the head. Okay na, now why does it show Brownian movement, see ಈಗ Brownian movement ಅನ್ನು ಅದು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there should be some factor which is responsible for that. ಹೌದಾ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು due to which they will be showing Brownian form. Now what is that factor ಅಂದ್ರೆ, see suppose let me just consider there is one box or container, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ colloidal particles ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. See, these particles will be of dispersed phase. ಹೌದಾ, they will be having very little energy, right? These particles will be have very little energy, due to which they'll be continuously, they'll be moving here and there. Now if we wanted to move more randomly and more continuously, now in madbeku, if we have to want it to move continually, ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ಈ ಏನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವ, ನಾನೇನಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಇಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there will be a repulsion between them. ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ವಿಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸೆಟಲ್ ಡೌನ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಮೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಫ್ CH charge, there will be repulsion, right? Immediate repulsion ಇದರಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, they will come back, ಮೇಲೆ ಅರೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So that means due to the same charges which is present on the colloidal solution, there will be continuous repulsion and the continuous movement of the particles, right? The particles will be moving continuously, and that random motion ge naave enanta heltivi, Brownian movement anta heltivi, right? So this Brownian movement can take place either of due to any reason, either it is of positive particles can be either positive, if not the positive particles can also be negative charge. Okay na, positive charges andre there are some examples for that, and negative charges andre there are some examples for that. Now let us just see what are the different examples for that positively charged solutions, if not the negatively charged solutions. Now suppose if I'm taking the positively charged solution, the examples the common examples what we take up is the hydrated metallic oxides. Okay na, hydrated metallic oxides like your aluminium oxide, chromium oxide, iron oxide, ferric oxide. These are the common examples which you take. If not basic distuff andre like your methylene blue colored one. Okay na, if not blood alli nimma hemoglobin enido, it also acts like a positively charged colloid. And then oxides, metallic oxides like your titanium oxide, ivella these are the examples for positively charged salts. Okay na, now when I'm talking about the negatively charged salts, what are the examples for negatively charged salts? Andre your metals, not your hydrated metallic oxides, just your metals like copper, gold, silver, etc. If not your sulfides. Okay na, sulfides like which one, titanium ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, arsenic ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, cadmium, all these are examples for your negatively charged salts. Now ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ basic distuff ಬಂತು, obviously ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, that is acidic distuffs like your Congo red salts, eosin, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. And then ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಬಂತ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ your hydrophilic colloids like your starch, gum, gelatin, these are all forming the negatively charged salts. Now why does this charge come, what is how is it going to affect the property, another we'll be learning it in the next class about all these things, and then we'll go to the last topic. Okay na, okay, if you have any doubts you can contact me students. Thank you.